are here at the Goodwill bins today, and we're here earlier than we have been in the last 3-4 weeks. It's only 11 o'clock, so hopefully we have a couple good switch outs, and they've only been open an hour, so we'll see what we find.
Are you feeling lucky?
I always feel lucky here because you just never know what you're going to find in the bottom of those bins. There are no carts available as per usual. I usually have to wait or follow someone out and help them unload or wait until they unload. So I'm going to go through the books. First book of the day, Kingdom of Adventure, Everest. It's got a deckled edge, 1947. It's coming home. It's a good navy. Oh no, they're doing a book switch out and I haven't looked through them yet.
We're here for a bin change out, so I'm going to go visit these other bins. This looks interesting. Oh, that's really small. That's also really small. They're just about to let everybody in, so I will peruse over there in a minute. So mostly teenagers here, but there are a few people that are regulars, and there's one particular person who loves quilts. So if I'm going to get any, I'm definitely going to have to be on the ball because she snaps them up fast. Let's see what they got. Oh, I see one that I'm interested in.
This one's kind of fun. 1956, Superintendent of Nurses. I'm gonna grab that one just because I love the globe on there and the crest. So I find these medical books a lot. This one's got a great green and gold, but honestly, and other than like that, some of these they have just interesting things that are pretty outdated.
This looks like a really cool Americana one, hand sewn. I kind of have to work my way in to get it.
So that one is amazing. Love that.
All right, I only got that one quilt, so I'm going to start going through these bins. See if there's anything good in here. Last week we found a Coach purse, so that was kind of fun. So this is kind of like a vintage surfing. It's a curtain. I'm hoping there's more than one. You can see there's some whip stitching. They're decently made and lined. So maybe there's one more. I'm going to put back because I can't find another one, and I don't think anybody wants just one curtain.
Better Homes and Gardens, the new cookbook. Someone's put tape on the binding on the back. It's been well loved and much cooked out of, but it's from 1953, I think. So I'm grabbing it. It just has some good stuff in there. Also loving this Reader's Digest. That's awesome. The Avon International Cookbook, complete with book sleeve. Oh man, this is an old Treasure Island, but it's missing the back.
It's kind of a fun Afghan. Kind of yarn ends, zigzag. I'm on the fence. Should I get this one? I'm going to ask Zeb. He's probably going to say yes because the colors are fun. And I like the pattern, the way it's got this like raised part here. So I'm digging through the bins here and I saw this peeking out. I don't know what it is, but I know that the fabric is the retired Waverly fabric. So I'm going to look through it and see what all I can find. So these are like, it looks like unfinished projects. Look, it's got a pin in it. But this is like a good big piece. So I'm going to grab this because somebody could sew a cushion with it or upholster a chair.
I'm always surprised at how much Norman Rockwell painted. I think it's because he was painting for like weekly releases and things or monthly releases, but he has so many paintings. I'm skipping through like 50 pages at a time. Fall's coming, so I'm going to snag this one. It's got a lot of, it's like all orange. This is a good one. The House at Pooh Corner. Let's see, when is it from? 1956. Original copyright was 1928. Oh, this is the printing 1961 on that. So I'm having pretty good luck finding books that I actually really like. Sunset Kitchen Cabinet Recipes. Check this out.
So in this particular bin, I found quite a few things that I'm interested in because I think there's some higher end stuff. This is a French towel. It's got a tag on it, made in France. This is Hearth and Hand, so not high end, but I actually like the pattern. And then this is One King's Lane, and it's just a king size sham. So I'm gonna see if I can find the matching one. I always like it when I can find matching pillow shams. These are kind of bohemian. I like the paisley on the back. This one was way over there, and then I was like, well, maybe I won't find the match. And then peeking out here, I found the match. So I'm gonna take these home. They're king size. I wonder if I should buy this and turn it into a pedestal. Like originally it probably was like a chafing dish, but it's really heavy. Most of them are really thin, and I think Zeb could put like a piece of wood in here and make a really pretty pedestal. I'll ask him if he wants it. I'm just continuing to dig along. This is a pretty comforter, but not super cool. But I saw this Vera Bradley bag peeking out. No holes, the zippers work. I'm definitely going to grab this. They don't sell for a ton, but I'll get between $14 and $20 for it.
All right, I've been through all the book bins, found what I wanted. Let's see if we can find some Afghans or quilts and help Jami out a little bit. All right, let's check this out, see how big it is. It keeps going down in the hole here. Any holes? It's got a couple little frays, but I think it's in good shape. I like the blue and the yellow. And then what's this? A little hot pad. Is that burned or just needs washed? Look at this big heavy one. It's got fringe on the end, a little bit of fraying on top, but you know, homemade. And it's heavy. It's pretty thick. Like each one of these knots is like half an inch thick. So I'm over here going through some of these bags in this new bin. I found this old snake bite kit.
So I wasn't sure what this was, but I looked at the tag inside and it says Vera Bradley. This looks like an older one, more like vintage Vera Bradley. It's got some animals on it, a little faded, but the zipper works and no holes. So I'm gonna pick it up. Maybe somebody will want it. This box is kind of hammered, but it's got some blocks in it. Vintage blocks are always popular, so I'm gonna grab them. I might just ditch the box and just get the blocks. I wonder if somebody had a collection, because here's another Vera Bradley. It's smaller, zipper works, just needs to wash. Definitely not homemade, but I really like the colors. So if it doesn't have any big stains on it, I will grab this one. It's striped on the other side. I just got new bins, and first quilt I found is this one. It's got lots of pretty fabric. I love all the floral in it. Going through the bins on the sides, they have some skates, but they have somebody's name on them. I don't think those are gonna be popular. I guess somebody could probably flip them around the other way, but I'm gonna pass. I might be sad that I did, but I'm gonna pass on them. So we had one full cart today. How much did we spend?
56.
It's been a slim day, yeah, but we got a full cart. So I feel like sometimes they ring us up differently. It just depends who's working, because some things are certain prices, and you know, we're usually between $50 and $100 for a cart full. So we're gonna take this all home and let you see what we got.
So we have an edited version of Thrift Flips / Paint-A-Palooza today. Jami's making some molds. We have 3 things that were pretty easy. Just needed some glue on those and then oil on a cutting board over on the table. These are going to be a little more involved, but all of this is pretty quick, easy little flips.
Yeah, we can get it done in a couple hours this afternoon. One of the things when you are a thrifter is inevitably you find projects that you want to do, and the only way to stay on top of it is to every week get those projects done. A lot of these have already pre-sold. Some of them are still available. We're gonna show you how we make the behind the scenes magic happen. So this is the new Oaks and Leaves Acorns Iron Orchid Designs mold. All the products you can get at JamiRayVintage.com. If you saw us last week, we purchased this at the Goodwill bins. We probably paid, I don't know, $1, maybe $1.50.
Oh, that's probably light enough. It might have been 50 cents.
Yeah, pretty inexpensive. Originally it had some molding on there. It's been removed. So I'm actually just going to make a little leaf wreath here. Just glue these on and then we'll get this all painted up.
Okay, go.
Trying to decide how I want to do this. I'll have to.
Are you gonna just be able to fit 4 leaves on there?
Yeah. I can
You
move
just
it
have
a
to make
little
sure
bit.
they're centered.
Yeah, I can move it a little bit.
You might have to curl those ends a little more.
I think I'm gonna.
Do you want some help? All right, so the outside is kind of more rounded, but on the inside we got what looks more like a diamond shape, which I actually like. It adds quite a good little detail on that. So when I saw this in the thrift store, I loved this little tray with the brass, and it looks like ivy or oak leaves. It probably could be oak leaves, but Jamie's just gonna paint this up in juniper, which is gonna complement that brass, and then we'll probably dark wax it. All right, one of the easier repairs that I've got to do, I've got these rose frames. Just gonna flip them over. The mirrors were barely hanging in there, so just gonna drop the mirror down in. I washed them while I had them off. And then I'm gonna take some high temp hot glue and just give like a little tiny bead in north, south, east, and west here. Well, that's what we'll call it. Okay, and then it has these felt backers that go on that. And I'll glue those in a minute once that glue dries. What are your plans on that pedestal?
I'm thinking plum pudding and white wax. So I'm just kind of using, I have like the littlest bit of paint left. So I'm trying to use the last of these cans so I can clean them out of my craft stash.
That almost looks black on camera, or brown.
Oh, it's like a really pretty dark lavender. Yeah, like dark lavender, plum color.
When we found this at the Goodwill, it had one little foot on there and the other 3 were missing. It needs the feet because it's a music box, and when you wind it, that winder is down below. Let's see if we can see it. Oh, you can see it in the back. So that hangs down and won't let the box sit flush, so it needs the feet. I think that these little feet painted up gold are gonna be just about right. Jamie thinks they might be a little big, but I don't think she's seen it yet. So I'll get her opinion, but we're probably gonna go.
No, I like it. I think it's good. I hope this kind of gives you guys some ideas of how to flip some stuff that may not be perfect, because you don't always find slam dunks at the thrift store, but you need to be shopping every time you're there. So having a few tricks up your sleeve how to upgrade stuff is a great way to always be making money when you're thrifting.
So this isn't a heavy duty lifting piece of furniture. Like, it's not holding a lot of weight. It might have some little jewelry in there. So I'm just gonna use some Gorilla super glue, and this works really well. What I'll do is I'll do it all on the top of this little knob, then we'll place it so it has good glue on the surface area here, and that should hold for a long, long time. You can see the other ones were just glued in and they were even doweled, but they were a little taller, I think, which lent to like wobbling. This has like a big surface on it. Now we're gonna line it up on the corner here with the edges, so this edge and this edge. And let that dry. We'll do all 4. So I've glued in 2 mirrors and put 2 feet on, and Jamie's on her 4th piece that she's painting.
Well, if you just let it dry, like while other things are drying, you can really get a lot of things painted. I'm just painting this crockery because I feel like this will make it look like old crockery as opposed to something with grapes on it.
Well, it's already like a good thick clay that leads to like a stoneware look, so.
Yeah, it just needed a little bit more neutralization to make it look more high-end.
Just hot glue. You gotta go fast because it cools down quick when you do little bits like this. Then press it in. This is dry from the sun, dry enough that we can paint it without mushing it all over the place.
It's just got a little bit of a crust on there, so I'm just coming in with crockery because I want to do dark wax, and I'm leaving the inside natural, so I'm just painting outside. A lot of people like to use these for organizing, or they put little plants in them in pots.
I like them for seed organization.
Oh yeah, that's always great too. You always thinking about seeds.
All the little boxes and the seeds.
For those of you that don't know, Zeb has a deep love of gardening. I like to garden too, I do, but Zeb loves the seeds, loves gardening and growing things.
Okay, we're gonna take these two little mirrors over to the done pile. The felt is glued back down. Got them cleaned up. They're not shaking all over the place anymore. So we have a done pile over here because sometimes we get crazy painting and the things that are finished get paint on them. So these feet were also thrifted. I picked them up for $1.50 for 15 feet. So that's 10 cents a knob. I'm calling them feet, but they're knobs. Okay, you can see here this golden ticket is gonna be a pretty close match to the gold that was already on here. And I'm just gonna take this little brush and gold them up. If it doesn't match exactly, I may do like a light dark wax on them, but I'm probably not gonna sweat it much because by the time I get it painted and it dries, your eye won't really be able to tell. Look, you can see it right there. It's almost identical. So this is all gonna get oiled with the same oil I used on the cutting board because I had to do a little bit of sanding. That'll freshen that up, and it won't necessarily deepen it up, but it'll not make it look like I just sanded it. And gonna do this lemonade. I'm not gonna try to say that.
It's our Italian pack.
This is the Italian mini pack. It's like a bunch of labels for fruit and lemonade and things like that. For this project, I am using the DIY Cottage Color in white linen, and we're just gonna stencil this on here. I may try to find some yellow, but I thought it would be kind of fun to come back over the words with a gold, or maybe do the lemons in a gold. What do you guys think? I haven't tried stenciling with the gold, or at least not in a long time. I feel like that gold matches pretty well. So this one is also done. The golden ticket has a built-in sealer, so that's ready. Golden ticket, we're going back in. I'm gonna get this pretty dry on here. And this is still the 1/2-inch stencil brush, so I'm gonna kind of be careful not to get it all over the place. Just going gold where the lemons would be. But you want your brush to be pretty dry, because the golden ticket is definitely thinner than paint. It's like a sealer.
And I'm over here painting a frame.
Jamie's gonna paint this. We gotta get some art in it. That old art, you know, that's probably fine, but we wanna dress it up a little bit.
I think we'll do something pastoral, maybe the sheet print. I don't know. One of our new medium papers is going to go in it.
Okay, let's reveal this and see what it looks like. I might distress it a little. Oh, I got juicy, so we're gonna have to distress. I had too much paint on my brush when I was doing these little letters.
Sorry, it looks good.
But once we distress that, I think that'll be fine. And I like the gold. The touch of gold is good. I might be doing a lot of stencils like this. Okay, so you can see the shine on there from the gold. And I'm just gonna come across here. And this is gonna give the illusion of cleaning up those edges and distress it a little bit. This is 220 grit. And then when we seal over here, I'm gonna go a little heavy right here where these letters are. See, and that's helping. That made them look like they weren't bleeding through. Maybe just a touch up here too. Okay, I like that. We got a hint of gold still. I've got what's left over from my cutting board. I don't really need a ton on this. We don't wanna oversaturate it. Okay, look at that. It's just got the shine back from the oil.
We do the handle.
Yep, I'm gonna do this handle right here. Okay. That's ready for the done pile.
I think I'm gonna put an IOD transfer on here because it's a perfect spot for one. I lightly distressed it, so I don't think we need to do any dark wax on it. This I was gonna do white wax on, but I started distressing it and I love the cream color coming through, so I'm just gonna keep distressing it and then this piece will be finished because it's already sealed. This is all dried from yesterday. In case you didn't know, we did change outfits and did another little project yesterday, so we're circling back to finishing. But I'm just coming in with dark wax on this to bring out the detail in the molds and give it a little bit of age and distress.
You gonna do that to the sides or just the tops?
I'm gonna just rub the paper towel on the side. This is really why the molds need to be dry before you do this, because I'm applying a decent amount of pressure to get this dark wax off here. a little bit of wax. It doesn't take much.
So I wanted to show you this. This is crockery, and the reason we call it crockery is because when we sent the color match in, I got as close as I possibly could to this big crock right here. And we've got another old one there. You see how close that is. And I just love it. I love it for everything, all the stoneware. So this is the Old World font stencil, and I'm just using Pacific and Cottage Color. I'm probably gonna have to do 2 coats over this crockery. And then I've got a wreath.
No, I think 1 is good.
1's fine.
Yeah.
And then I've got this mini wreath.
Mini floral wreath, I think is what it is. It comes in a mini pack.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do the whole thing. I'm just gonna do a couple little roses underneath.
Ta-da! That's cute. And you know what? Like the old Crocs, they're just slightly worn, like the stencil's not perfect, so I think that's good. More stenciling. We're using Apothecary Labels stencils from Jami Vintage. These are our JRV stencils. Drop links for all the stencils below, but we're using crockery. It's a great option if you don't want to do white because you want something a little bit more warm, but it will really contrast nicely with this dark original stain.
Yeah, these are some of my favorites. These old, and I'm really juicy. I just washed my brush. I probably should have
Yeah, you want a dry brush, and you want to use a JRV stencil brush. They are stiff, well made, and the right stencil and stencil brush make a huge difference. So just lightly bringing back some of that original finish. It's got a little gold on there.
Some of the gold. It wasn't a great gold. It was really kind of a funky finish on there.
Well, it had like that splatter. I don't know. It was like popular in the 70s.
Enough gold didn't come through, so Jamie's just coming back through with some golden rule wax and waxing over the top of these beads. All right, got one of our A4 rice papers. That's gonna go into this frame, and I'm gonna decoupage it because it doesn't have glass. It didn't come with glass, so I'm gonna use some liquid patina in clear, and we're gonna get this cut out and get it on the board. All right, this board is pretty hard and textured. I don't know that there's much for the liquid patina to stick to, but we're gonna get it good and saturated. That way when we set the rice paper on here, it'll stick good. And this crystal clear chandelier is what it's called if you're looking for it on the website. It's the patina, and the reason they call it a patina is because it gives it like a nice flat sheen. It's more of a matte. All right, I'm gonna have to set you down and set this on here. Maybe not, maybe I can do it. All right, we got it on. Now we're gonna saturate the top. Generous coating. That'll pull that down. Okay, gonna let that dry and then we'll get it in the frame. So it's always a lot of work when we do this many flips all at once together, but it's done and they all look great. I love them all.
Hopefully it inspires you to take something that you find that's a little not what you want and turn it into something that is good, or just little small fixes that can take thrift flips to that next level. When you're out at the Goodwill bins or the thrift store, you really have to think outside the box. If you guys need any paint and products or thrift flips, visit JamiRayVintage.com. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY
and thrifting. We'll see you on the next episode.